Everyone, we are the Gratitude Girls.
The gratitude girls are in the house. Hi, Laurie. How are you?
I'm wonderful. How are you, Kathryn?
I am great tonight, too. Thank you so much for brightening the screen with your beautiful colors tonight. I know I said I was going to hop into color, but when I see you, it just reminds me to go out there and put some pink and purple and indigo and periwinkle on. You look amazing. Thank you for showing up and brightening the screen.
Oh, thank you. You know I love my colors.
Yeah, it says a lot about how we feel, and it really displays parts of us. And I think that goes right along with what we're going to teach and coach tonight. So before we hop into helping others to succeed and what we do to give them mirror images, I'll announce to our audience who I am. So thank you so much for being here tonight. If it's your first time, welcome. And if you are one of our loyal friends, guests, clients, it's because of you that we're here every week for almost 14 years. I'm broadcasting to you live tonight from beautiful Toronto, Ontario, Canada. My name is RaRa, affectionately known as RaRa, Kathryn Asaro Mayers, and I'm here with my amazing Gratitude Girls partner tonight.
And I am Laurie Delk Radecki, and I'm outside of Nashville, Tennessee.
So tonight, Laurie, we're going to talk about success and not our success, but success and how we help other people. So let's dive right into it.
Okay, yes. So, yes, our official title is Helping Others is the Secret to Success. So, have you ever heard that term, help more people get what they want and you'll end up getting what you want, right? So many times our world nowadays, they just like overlook that. We hear a lot about becoming successful or people giving their accolades, building a business, making more money, achieving their goals, climbing that corporate ladder. But what if true success isn't just measured by what we accomplish? What if it's measured by how many lives we impact?
Hmm. Lori, what does success really mean? When people hear that word, they think of promotions, awards, recognition, financial freedom. Those things aren't wrong. We enjoy all of those. But have you ever noticed that some of the happiest people you know aren't necessarily the wealthiest people that you know? They're the people who are always encouraging others. Think about someone in your life who does that, someone who's helping, who's listening, who's serving, someone who did that for you when you first started out, someone who's giving. They leave every room just like you enter, just a little bit brighter than they found it.
Yes, I love that. Like, have you ever had that? Like, you go to a networking event and you meet somebody, you talk to somebody, and you just feel better that you talked to them in that last hour, right? You know, Jesus modeled that perfectly. Like one of my favorite verses is Mark 10:45, and it says, "For even the Son of Man came not to be ministered unto, but to minister to, and to give his life a ransom for many." So, like, think about that. The King of Kings, he didn't come asking, "Who's going to serve me?" Right? He came asking, "Who can I serve?" That completely changes the way that we think and many times that we're taught about success.
Just makes me think about so many instances where people talk about how they can help someone and they're not focusing on what we just talked about. So someone, or sometimes we think helping others has to be something huge, something really big. We imagine writing a big check, starting a charity, changing thousands of lives. But if you think about it, Lori, most people are changed through small moments. A smile. Look at us, we met on stage. We smiled, we touched hands, a kind word, a phone call, someone remembering someone's birthday, someone remembering your birthday, sending a text, sending a digital card, something that says, I was thinking about you today. Those little things that aren't so little can mean everything to someone who's having one of those days.
Right, exactly. And somebody today texted me, that they had a bad day at work and, stress. And I had just made extra for dinner. And so I said, drive by my house on the way home and pick up some dinner." And so I got a text a few minutes ago that said, "Thank you so much. That was so helpful." I learned over the years that encouragement many times can cost very little, but it's incredibly valuable, right? Like you just never know what someone is carrying because most of us don't walk around with the little post-it note on our head that says, "This is what's really going on in my life," right? And most of us don't tell all our drama or our dirty laundry. Some people do, but most of us don't. But sometimes just one conversation, a compliment, even a prayer, that can become the turning point in someone's week or even their life.
Like the ripple effect, right? I love thinking about kindness like a pebble dropped into a lake. I'm sure you've done it at least once or twice. One small act creates ripples, and you can just feel the water and how it moves. You encourage someone, they go home encouraged. Then they encourage their spouse, their child. That child encourages a friend. We may never know how far one simple act of kindness really goes.
Right, exactly. And, same thing in the Bible, Galatians 6:9, it says, "Let us not be weary in well doing, for in due season we shall reap, if we faint not." So, sometimes we help people and sometimes we never see the harvest. They say to plant your seeds all the time. Sometimes you might not see the harvest, but we never know how God could use our obedience. We never know how those seeds that we planted, even though we don't notice the harvest, it doesn't mean that it wasn't important, right? It doesn't mean that that seed of kindness that we spread isn't coming back to us in other ways.
Here's something that I've noticed, and it happens whenever I'm discouraged. One of the best things I could do is go out and encourage someone else. It shifts my perspective like that. Instead of staying focused, maybe inwardly, on what's upsetting or disturbing, distracting me, I begin noticing the people around me. Helping others often reminds us that we still have something valuable to give. And today, David told me a story of how he helped a woman who couldn't read the sign and she was looking where to go. And he walked over to her and asked if he could help her. And someone was observing him and came over and thanked him for doing that for her. And maybe she was thinking of going over to help her. But he went and got recognized by someone when he did something that had nothing to do with recognition.
That is so good, right? Like when we refresh other people, God, the universe, life, karma, whatever you want to call it, has a way of refreshing us. And it doesn't always mean financially. Sometimes it's peace or joy or friendship or hope or strength, right? But literally, so many times when we help someone else, that actually helps us more in return, like just automatically. What you what you send out, you bring about, right?
And we both subscribe to that. I think our culture tells us build your platform, build your following, build your influence. But the better question, and what if the better question is, who am I lifting today? That's a completely different mindset. And I actually believe it's much more fulfilling.
Exactly. Because influence, everybody says that they want that, right? That's the thing to get. But influence isn't really about how many people know your name. It's about how many people are better because you were a part of their life. And that could be one person, or it could be 1,000, right? The thing is, we just need to be faithful into helping other people, spreading kindness where we can, and doing what we can to make the world a better place.
And on the practical side of it, to your point, and helping others doesn't have to be complicated. We don't have to make this a difficult challenge. You can send an encouraging messages, write a thank you note, quietly pray for someone, invite someone for coffee, do what you did, offer extra dinner, volunteer. I volunteer so many hours and I feel fantastic about doing that. Listen without interrupting. I actually want to say that one again. Listen without interrupting. Celebrate someone else's success. Those things matter.
Exactly. And you could even pray every morning and say, Jesus, please bring me someone who I can help encourage today. Bring me across somebody that I can help today. Because you'd be amazed at how often that somehow that happens, right? Somebody might be placed on your heart, someone might come across your path. You could call someone, text them, pray for someone, just reach out to somebody, right? The thing is, you don't always have to reach out, and have a reason to reach out, right? Just pay attention when someone's name maybe comes to your mind.
Well, let's think about us being natural teachers and a work you can do from home. Some people might call it homework. Before next Monday, okay, a week from today, anytime before next Monday, intentionally encourage three people. Not because you need something, not because it's expected, but simply because you want them to know that they are appreciated.
Yes, exactly. And after you do that, notice, just notice how you feel. Because I think you'll discover something beautiful, like helping someone else fills your own heart with joy, right?
That's so true, Laurie. Let's never underestimate the difference one kind word can make, one thoughtful action or one loving heart, and the difference that that can make. You may never know whose life changes because you simply choose to just care.
Right, exactly. And remember, being great isn't found in being served. Greatness is found when you serve other people. So this week, once again, look for someone to encourage, look for someone to bless, look for someone to lift up. Because remember, success isn't always about reaching the top, it's about helping the other people to climb with you.
What is that saying, Laurie? If you want to go far, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go with your team,
Yeah, go together. Yeah,
go together.
exactly.
Thank you so much to our audience for joining us tonight for another Gratitude Girls coaching and training. Laurie, how can people get with us?
Yes, absolutely. Go to gratitudegirls.com. You can see the last 14 years now of all our trainings. You can also see us on all social media at Gratitude Girls. Make sure to follow us, subscribe, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, all those places, right? And of course, our website, gratitudegirls.com. And follow us, subscribe, share it with somebody who needs it. If you heard something that maybe helped you, then maybe help somebody else and share it with them.
Shall we leave with the thought for the week? All
That
right.
sounds good.
All right. Success isn't measured by how many people admire you. It's measured by how many people are stronger, encouraged, and closer to hope because you choose to love them.
And we love you guys. Thanks so much for tuning in. We'll see you next